You are very punchy today.
Punchy's my new baseline. No one even looks at me funny. I'm taking him out. Going right for the eyes.
Noah, always a pleasure.
Ryan, it's my pleasure. Great to see you again. So glad we're here to talk about season 2.
Season 2 opens with Robby writing into the Clarks is better off without you. You had told me in season 1 that Robert Bradley's baby became part of your on-set ritual.
I actually didn't know the song until I read it in the script, and then I listened to it, and then I listened to it religiously. I listened to it over and over again. I listened to it every day on the way to work. I listened to it from the walk I make from my dressing room to the set every day. And then I'd make that same walk that Robby makes in that pilot episode past the portrait into the emergency room. I'd replicate that every day regardless of what we were doing. It became my little ritual.
Did this song carry a similar sort of purpose?
To a lesser degree. I didn't listen to it as fastidiously as I did that first one. There was something about having that in my headphones on the way into work that felt really appropriate to beginning my day every day. I listened to a lot of different stuff this season, and that song was one of them, but it was in a wide rotation.
Why was that the right song to set the tone, and what does it reveal about where Robby is at the onset of season 2?
Well, there's 2 reasons, I think, for that song. One, it is a Clark song, and they're a Pittsburgh band, so wanted to give a little love back to Pittsburgh. And then, Robby's sort of journey this year is one of trying to find his place, and whether his place is still here in the emergency department, and he's going through sort of a bit of an existential crisis.
You've said you read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance while preparing for season 2.
I'm rereading Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance for somewhat creative reasons having to do with season 2 and Robby.
What does that book, In Riding a Motorcycle, tell us about where Robby is mentally and spiritually this year?
A lot. I love the detail work. And so last year when Robby's walking to work with that backpack, I asked the prop department to fill that backpack with a lot of very specific items, one of which was a copy of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. But I only wanted it dog-eared on page 17 because he'd just begun reading it. Now, 10 months later, not only has he read it, it's become a major influence, and he's gone so far as to purchase the same bike and fix it up and plan this utopian voyage of self-discovery and distance and solitude that's a little bit analogous to the journey that the character is taking in the book, if you know the book. It's sort of a journey that has no fixed destination, but the journey itself is the point of the journey, and you're hoping to get the answers to the questions that are chasing you en route. And that feels very thematic to Robby.
The prodigal son returns. Too soon?
No, I guess not.
So this season explores what happens when people come back changed, whether they've been gone for months, they've moved up a year in their training, or they've just had time to sit with what happened at the end of season 1. For each of your characters, what does coming back look like at the start of season 2?
Langdon spent the last 10 months going through rehab and probably planning for this day and planning on what he's going to say to Robby when he sees him, what he's going to say to Santos, what he's going to say to Dana and Mel and everybody. That he has a lot of apologies to make.
You look good, kid. How you feeling?
Oh yeah, great. It's been a journey.
I bet.
Robby feels very betrayed by Langdon. Langdon, in his defense, has sort of done everything he was supposed to do in terms of going through rehab and making amends. But, Robby's not one to suffer fools, and I think Langdon made him look like foolish in his mind as well. So Robby's not only angry at Langdon, I think he's angry at himself, and he's not in a place ready to accept Langdon back yet, and he has to find a way to do that.
I think at the end of season 1, McKay was in this kind of apex of chaos and the humiliating event of being almost arrested in front of everybody.
Put your hands behind your head.
Whoa. Hang on a second.
You gotta be kidding.
And then, of course, the mass casualty. McKay's life is more settled. The custody battle has sorted itself out. The ankle monitor is off. She is in her element, but the difficulties have been pushed down, and she's in need of self-care. I think like all of the doctors, but there's definitely some bubbling. It's an interesting thing watching all of the doctors be affected by it so differently. And I think Javadi's really processed a lot of this online and in other spaces. I think she's sort of back in the ED after doing other rotations, so she hasn't been around the whole time. And she comes back in, and I think she's sort of back in her trauma zone. And I think that the pressure cooker of her life has sort of gotten more and more intense, which I think we don't see so much in the morning, but I think we sort of see as the day goes on.
Mm-hmm. Everything will be a cakewalk after today. I promise. Come on, let's go find a good case.
I think Samirah's gained some confidence at the end of season 1, which is really great. And so that was a great thing to come into season 2 with, to show her growth as a doctor and how much more sure she feels in herself. I think you really get a sense of that in the first few episodes. Whether that lasts all season is something you have to keep watching for.
You're also catching Mel at a very strange day. I mean, I think throughout the 10 months that we've not seen the characters, Mel's gotten a lot more confident and feels like she's a better doctor and more able to do everything except for today, which is the day, of course, that we land on and we actually watch, which is not a good day and kind of reversing any work that she had done previously.
I actually had this alter ego that was a 17th century French woman alter ego.
For both of us, it's no longer our first day anymore. Mm-hmm. There's not that like fish out of water feeling. It's and for Santos, no longer trying to show up and show off and be like, I need to prove myself. They've been working here probably almost every day for the last 10 months, and I think there's a bit of routine there. You're seeing them a little more in their element.
Wait, tell me you're not actually charging about losing a mannequin.
It's part of the exercise. Dr. Al-Hashimi asked us to do it.
Who's his next of kin, Barbie?
Okay. I mean, she's still punching at people a little bit, but not mainly you, but not as much as she was, and I think it's because she's kind of being very humbled by second year of residency, which is famously very hard, and also Langdon coming back is a very triggering thing because the last time he was there, he told her she did not belong in the ED.
So far today, the only thing you have been successful at is proving repeatedly that you know nothing.
And even though she's very strong and pretends that she doesn't care, of course that affected her and shakes her confidence. So I think it's just bringing back a lot of things that she has to face head on that she didn't think she was going to have to face.
Yeah. For me, I think he's come a very long way in terms of feeling comfortable. It was a very kind of a nightmare of a day, that first shift. So yeah, he's come a long way. I'm really grateful I got to be able to portray that. He's, had 10 months of getting used to the environment and really had to step up in terms of, now having responsibility for others, it being a teaching hospital. I don't think he ever expected to be doing that or necessarily wanted to, but he seems to have really taken up that role and realized kind of the weight of that responsibility and seems to be flourishing doing it so far, because it's not just about him anymore, it's other people involved, and he can empathize with that horrible shift he had. So in a way it was good. It's a bit of a gauntlet of fire.
And now we're roommates.
Just keep to yourself. Don't annoy me, and you can move in.
Wow. Whitaker is almost unrecognizable this year. He's...
Whoa! And I would have gotten away with it, too.
Oh, excuse me. It says here she takes Risperdal, an antipsychotic. She takes Restoril when needed for sleep.
He's steadier, obviously. He's more confident. He's clearly studying Robby, right down to the way he teaches. How consciously do you think he's shaping himself in that mold?
Interesting. Yeah, hopefully he's not plagiarizing Robby. But
You're kind of saying exactly what he said.
I mean, but I mean, what better example to follow, honestly? And again, with the shift being the way it was, and the way Robby and Whitaker got to see each other at a low point, it's created a bit of an odd bond between them.
A wise man once told me that you learn to live with it, learn to accept it, and find balance if you can.
And hopefully, yeah, Robby is encouraging him in that way and maybe feeling good about that someone is following so closely with his footsteps.
Yeah.
Maybe, or weirded out. I don't know. Like, mate, you'll never be me. Yeah, maybe.
No, that's just Noah.
Yeah, that's Noah, yeah.
Dana takes a new nursing grad under her wing this year. Do you think what she went through in season 1 is shaping the mentor she is now? And if so, how?
Definitely. I think that in a way, Dana teaching Emma how to protect herself and being so on guard for any violence, anything that even reeks of violence towards Emma, is a way, probably subconsciously, of righting the wrong that was done to her, in a way of kind of protecting herself. I think if she feels like she can protect Emma, that she feels like she can protect herself. I think there's still a lot that's still really hot in there for Dana.
So Shawn, unlike last season, Abbot does not appear in the premiere.
Spoiler alert.
What can you say about the circumstances of Abbott's return and how they fit into the emotional arc this year?
I can say that Abbott returns in an unexpected way.
Bang.
Yeah, he moonlights on the SWAT team. And this is real. They bring doctors in sometimes to join the team in case something goes wrong. So he shows up. Something did go wrong in what he was doing for that day, and so he comes in a very fun and unexpected way. Yeah, and he actually meets Dr. Al-Hashimi.
Yes,
right
within
away.
moments.
'Cause she's been there,
All
stretching out, getting comfortable, owning the place. And so this guy shows up in fatigues, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
I think that's my first comment to you. Is SWAT, really?
And he's like, "You must be Gloria's new hire."
We can't spoil anymore.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Shawn, you've said before that Abbott has some unspoken trauma that didn't get explored the first season. We have seen that he wears a wedding ring, but that hasn't really been discussed yet. How much does that past trauma play into your storyline this year?
I don't know, to be honest. There's still some stuff that I haven't seen, so I can't really say. I do know, though, just coming off of where we landed at the end of season 1, and the kind of the role reversals between Abbott and Robby, and Abbott understanding his purpose here, kind of trying to impart his wisdom as a guy who's willing to work on himself. He's trying to get Robby to look inside and deal with the, what this job does to them. And I think more importantly, coming 10 months later and seeing where Robby is and finding out that he hasn't been doing the work is what's sort of pushing Abbott forward this season.
With 15 episodes again this year and a typical shift being 12 hours, what can you say about how you're shaping the final third of the season?
Well, the reality is, even though doctors work a 12-hour shift, they're usually there a lot longer because, in a lot of cases, they have 2 hours just of charting to catch up on. So, the first season we did a big mass casualty that sort of threw a monkey wrench into everyone's plans to go home. And there is something that happens this season that is a glitch at the ED that makes things a little more difficult. But I think just following the characters, and I think the last third of this season is, basically a lot of them trying to get out of the hospital and not being able to do that. There used to be an old saying in the medical field that, especially in the ER, the longer you stay, and that's sort of what happens.
As we look ahead to the full 15 episodes, is there any one character arc you think viewers will be most surprised by in terms of where that character ends up emotionally or professionally by the end of the season?
I think hopefully some good surprises in a few characters. I think there'll be surprise with Dana in some of how her story plays out. I think Robby, there'll be some concern. Definitely Al-Hashimi. So there's a few, and maybe even Dr. Santos.